Thank you. Good afternoon. Good evening. Retail. I've been a retailer at least now 6 years. I come from a manufacturing background and then seeing the changes. Right? Most people here can easily relate to retail because if you think either you go to the like a kirana shop, mango season here, go to buy mangoes, or you're looking for buying something online, like a fashion apparel. You have been checking it out, and you see a lot of new things have come in terms of virtual try-ons, in terms of like say trying to do accessorize it with like say jewelry. You want to now test the fabric, want to know the feel of the apparel. Now you walk to the store. So there is also the what we call the bridge between digital and physical is also breaking down, and it's almost nil nowadays. People look at things at the store and then they go buy online. They again go back to the store to pick it up, or they buy online, go to the store to return it or exchange it and pick different things. So the bridge between what we call physical and digital is almost thinning down, and most retailers here we exist in both spaces. I think this is one aspect of it. I think in retail, what is constant, I would say, is end of the day, we all have been shoppers, we are customers in some say, we can put ourselves in the shoe of a consumer. So we love for the consumer, love for the customer, of course. Rohit can talk for it, Kaushik can talk for it, I can talk for it. I think that's the central thing that resonates, right? As a retailer, we want to cater to our customers. I would probably simplify the list 4 things that would help in the discussion as well. How do I be as a retailer drive traffic to the store or a digital channel? I think it's the way how we want to do customers, because we want to have people come to the store or come to a site, and so that comes to the media, marketing aspects of things that is core to one aspect of it. Once they come to my site or come to the store, we need to carry the right assortment, we need to carry the right colors, right sizes, right, if it is grocery, the right combination of things, and of course at the right price. So the customers can actually shop with us, because when you have brought them in, we want to of course make sure that they convert or that they shop with us. So we want to get more of their wallet share. Now, because now in digital as well, you order online as a whole, as a supply chain art that backs up any retailer in terms of inventory, demand planning, in terms of like say making sure we are not running out of stock. And when we are actually doing now, we are offering, in India, quick commerce is very famous. We are doing same day delivery, next day delivery. So there's a huge part of how we manage the fulfillment process of it. And we all have experienced things. I need to now call customer service because the item either came damaged, it was the wrong color that we saw online versus now. We need to look for returns, exchanges, reach customer service. There's a customer aspect to it as well in terms of, so every touch point with the customer, we want to make it smooth, seamless. So as a retailer, whatever technological advances or related things that we do, it underpins, let's say, serving customer. So with that, like typically in retail is one area, because I come from a data science background, I lead the data science area. Data is anyway core to a retail art, and it's a closed loop ecosystem. I will start the first question with Rohit on data-driven decision making. So how, as a retailer in Walmart, you have been actually leveraging data from a company?
Sure. So any technology is as good as that power, that data that powers it. So at Walmart, we have a deep customer knowledge strengthened over like 60 years, helping people live better lives. We combine the customer data, the product data, the supplier data, a bunch of other data sources to be able to understand our customer better and serve them in a more personalized way, and kind of make it more like a delightful experience, right? Like one of the example is if you're online and you're searching for something, maybe it's there in the history of what you clicked, what you bought, what you had to cart and stuff. And say you go to the store also. And when you buy something at store, if that gets also united, at the back end with the online, now you know that this customer has interest, because the buying behaviors are very different on stores versus online. And when you have this power of data, you can actually delight customer in a much better personalized way. So that's one of the examples. There are other examples that we use data for, like for supply chain optimization, which is a huge area. And if you optimize even like a few percentage, you can actually add a huge savings, to the bottom line of the company. So without data in today's world, I don't think so you can make any decisions because there's so much of goods movement happening. Walmart has been world leader in retail. Like the crazy amount of goods transition happening, and if you do not really track real time, you will not be able to do justice even from a cost perspective, so that people can do better savings and live better. So I think data has become foundational piece. Today, I don't think any company can even survive without the quality data. So I would say that's how at Walmart people are leveraging data.
Wonderful. I want to take it and also add
we would love to hear you because just because you're in this chair doesn't mean that you get to ask all the questions. So we'd love to hear from you as well because you represent a ton of, I would say, journey which has seen the data and the evolution, the way it is evolved, the way we use it and the way it transforms. So we'd love to hear from you as well. And then
I will do. Then we want to hear from you too. I come from actually oil background. I was in oil industry for many years, and then when people started calling data is a new oil, right? So for me it was almost like literally figuratively I'm touching a data coming from oil industry and I'm touching data in retail. And I think it is true in a sense. I think in the retail environment it is very close to, in the sense is when we do recommendations, when we do like say search discoverability. So we are looking for clicks, we are looking for the feedback, we are looking for conversion. So in a sense, this data is weaving in the art in many ways not envisioned before. It again touches both from physical, digital, and both senses. An example is this: I represent Victoria's Secret. It's a intimate apparel retailer. For us, from a supply chain angle perspective, we have almost a 6 months lead time for any apparel. Typically, and when you look for that much, all my inventory, demand, planning, all of forecasting has to be accurate, down to the colors, down to the sizes, down to allocations. We have to do it. So, in a sense, the forecasting algorithm that we kind of do. It's underpinning to the data we have. The same way, we are very close to 150 plus countries. So that is the way how we look at international demand, not just US demand, and then help in procurement, help in plan for the demand. That's all. And it's also a fashion industry. We introduce, I would say, what we call newness or new things every few months, every 8 weeks to 12 weeks, how to plan for that plan. So it's in a sense is the data science, the algorithms that underpin it, that's central, I would say, even from a supply chain angle of it, and how that gets represented from a store allocation, store placement, store pacing, one set of problems we solve. From a digital perspective, how we get displayed, how we rank them, how we recommend them, how we personalize them, so another set of data science problems that's being driven by data. Then again, when we talk of data, I know I touched on science aspect, there is, I would say, 3 angles, right? There is business intelligence is also runs with the data, not just for selling, there's also internally how efficiently we are doing things from a finance perspective or from an HR perspective or associate wellness perspective. So there's quite a lot of things we are actually, because as retailers, we do have a very large associate present at the store. What we call customer facing stores, right? We have close to 15,000 plus. Walmart had 2 million plus. JCPenney has, it's again tens of thousands, and they are also our employees, associates, the tech stack, the data we talk about touches them as well in ways to help improve experience. Maybe you want to add a couple of things?
Sure. No, I think thank you. Thanks for sharing great insights. Couldn't agree more with you, Rohit and Ravi, because when we are looking at a retail landscape and then how do we drive decision through data, the use cases are in specific patterns. You read the customer, you connect the dots and stuff. I'll probably try and give it a different spin and then bring the GCC angle to it. Now, decisions are always data driven, right? Sometimes the data is in front of us, well cooked, sometimes not so well cooked, but we look at that when we make a decision, and it's called the traditional type of data-driven decisioning, right? Sometimes we don't have the data in front of us and somewhere inside, subconscious, and we still make a decision. Conventionally, we call it more of a gut feel, right? And in both of these approaches, what makes a difference, a ton of difference, is the business context. Because unless we layer the decision and put the layer of the context into it, I think it kind of gets a bit misplaced. So when we have the lens of the GCC on, in these centers, which typically are pretty far from the core business, it's very important to read the data and then put it in the right context and then understand what the outcome of those decisions can be, right? And again, typically we do a ton of that. Of course, I'll add to the list that both of you have. Segmentation, pricing, where to fit the products. I think these are the typical patterns, but at the end of the day, to know which data to use where and how to bring out the decision, how to use your seasonality and kind of predict or do the forecast. I think having the understanding of the nature of the business you are in, whether you are an intimate retail or a fashion retailer like us, or even an overall gym store, right? Understanding of the context is very important.
I think wonderfully you summed it up from a GCC angle. I think India, in the sense, I think most of the audience will agree, is from a data, analytics, science, and engineering professionals, we probably have the best talent anywhere else in the world. So our GCCs, we have the talent, like you rightly said, making them understand the domain, bring the domain depth and ability to serve the right way through data. I think that's a key part we also, as leaders, that's what we bring to the table.
So quickly add a bit, like when we brought up talent, right? Now, talent is what we all are here for. That's the play at the end of the day. That's the talent play. Now, how do we enable and equip that talent to use data and make the right decision? And this is where we feel closeness to the business means a lot.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Anything there?
I think you guys have something very well. There's nothing much to say.
I would move to the next one on, I think it's relatable, I think post-COVID to everyone, between what we call physical, digital, RRR, the interplay between shopping online, RRR, and e-commerce business versus a store business. I think each retailer have a different percentage of their revenues coming each way. For us, if you look at our reports, we are still 80% stores, but digital is let's say 20% and growing tremendously. And the way we bridge that. So from e-commerce solutions from GCC. So Rohit, maybe I will start with you. How we have actually built solutions in GCCs, how they are getting integrated into the larger part of the business and balancing physical and digital.
So, Walmart Global Tech is a tech powerhouse which is helping innovating by largely collaborating across the globe. It's not just limited to India sector. There is a deep collaboration that happens. People have a unified way of accessing things, be it knowledge, information, and even the initiatives that are getting driven, they are actually global because there's one single purpose: is how do you help customers live lives better, right? And there's a constant effort as well. So every initiative they end up picking up is a global initiative. That's how GCC is set up today. Now, how is empowering it? Is obviously the engineers are continuously involved in innovating newer ways of delighting or improving the customer experiences. At the same time, also improving the productivity of associates who are really helping their all team members, like at Sam's Clubs. We have warehouse membership program, right? Where we continuously work towards how to make lives of members really on a day-to-day basis, really help them and save times and money both. When the e-commerce experiences, I think there are a lot of things changing. There's a very thin line now exists between online and offline world. Lines are blurring, and customers are becoming more and more savvy. They have more choices. They look for convenience, and they're looking for it. So they seamlessly move from online and offline world. They make certain decisions, while they're traveling, they might do it to cart, and sometimes they just stop by and pick it up and stuff like that. I think Walmart is innovating great on this front, investing a lot of time and energy. We call it an adaptive retail, where we believe that there is a time that's coming where people make buying decisions irrespective of where they are, and they want to make sure that all convenience is right there on their fingertips. So the examples like at Sam's Club we have scan and go. People just can take the merchandise and then just scan and go. They don't have to really wait in lines, and that's what we want in online world also. There's no queue, right? How do you make sure that in stores there are no queues? So bring the goodness of online into the physical world, and bring the goodness of physical world, like stores, onto the online world. Like people want to do size tries and stuff, or shop with friends, right? Hey, today they can do this. They select a model, they create their outfit, and they can share with friends and receive opinions from them, and then they can say, oh, this looks good, so they can buy. So we are trying to be innovative around that front and see how we can create a holistic experience for the customer to make their decision making much easier. So, okay.
Wonderful. Perfect. I want you to maybe add.
I think Rohit mentioned a very interesting point towards the end, experience. And I think that's all retail is all about, experience, right? What am I getting? How am I getting? Am I feeling good after the shopping, right? All of that. So I think again, putting on the GCC lens, and I've been with retail like half of my 25 years. Long time at Target back in the brick and mortar days when digital was still not a thing. It would still be relying on the data and the insights that we get from the physical stores, like what we read, what we get, and how we analyze it, and then how we make a data-driven decision laced with context on it, right? But now with the overall digital space, the data is readily available. It's online, and with so much of interconnectivity, I think we can we are in a much more advantageous stage of making a real-time decision, real-time analysis, almost in a very dynamic way, and then impacting the customer experience on the spot. Right? As she comes in and as she's shopping, I'm able to gauge her behavior within the store, and as you were mentioning, what have been her searches online, and maybe at some point she's opening up the mobile phone and seeing, okay, I've seen this online, where do I get it here? And as she's doing this, we are at the back end able to curate her experience and get her new offers, or send an associate up that, ma'am, can I help you? And then this is what you're looking for. So these small things make a huge difference, that how we are leveraging the data that we already have, the data that's being generated right now, and then kind of triangulate all of that to what's happening in the space, both digital and physical, and then kind of bring that out. And at the end of the day, and this is something I personally believe that, whatever track we are in, whether it's technology or product or operations, if it does not end up improving your customer experience, then probably doesn't have a meaning. So at the end of the day, the line has to go and meet there, and that's where, even at JCPenney is where we do a lot in terms of improving our supply chain and the product and the location findability, so that at the end of the day, when our customers are getting shipments, they are smaller in number, they are more holistic, and a lot of effort goes into getting some of the supply chain optimized, some of the delivery schedules, vendors. So a lot of this take a huge amount of workload, but at the end of the day, when the customers have a higher satisfaction index, I think all of it sees the positive ROI.
Wonderful. I think you guys covered kind of what I call the how to make the digital physical seamless. It comes to unified.
There's one more thing. You spoke about the virtual trial rooms, and I had a chance of experiencing that, not here, but I wish we had them in our stores here, because the whole aspect, and I'm sure many of you might relate to it, when I go and buy a shirt, it's just not me buying, I have to show my wife that, hey, this is what I'm buying, right? And then there's this awkward thing of you opening the door and there's a long queue, people waiting, and then you are still thinking, do I look right?
They look at you and say, why are you taking so much time?
Yeah, and then with the virtual thing, what happens is you get instant recommendations, size changes, color changes, different aspects of, or all the attributes of you want to choose in your dress. That's all taken care of inside that virtual trial room, and then you can share it with somebody who's not even there, and can still make a very quick decision. So that's what the future holds for us.
Oh, wonderful. What you brought us, we have something similar in the build is called virtual avatar, where we are looking at avatars are doing the try-ons and again bridge between physical and digital as well. Maybe from a GCC angle, I will touch, which was I found interesting, is there are a lot of support functions in GCC. The one because we have a large CISO team. I think all orgs have CISO teams in security and we all have physical stores. Physical stores needs safety and there is continuous watch because we are in US, both from a shrink or a theft perspective, plus a associate safety perspective, consumer safety perspective. Quite a lot of things are actually on video. What I found out is a lot of our GCCs provide ton of support in this area. We have actually people, sometimes they are looking at the live streams and talking to their US partners. We also do post feeds in terms of, like, say, doing shrink analysis and quite a lot of things. This was one, I walked into one of our rooms and very, very interesting. There are, typically this doesn't get mentioned for our cases, but there are also areas where a lot of work is happening from here. That's how they are actually staying very, very close to the retail business, supporting from here. Interest of time, I would move to, you all actually touched on customer experience in your, when we actually talked about physical, digital, and how it intervenes on enhancing customer experiences. Anything additional you want to add?
I would say that increasingly, with all advent of this GPUs and stuff, I'm just expecting the devices will become even more smarter. There'll be an opportunity for every retailer to invest significantly on how to just reach to the customer in a very different way, so that it just becomes even much more seamless. And we'll talk a lot more on the future of the retail part. But lastly, that's what I feel is there.
Yeah, our journey is very, very similar to Kaushik. The way he is just very close in the sense we are apparel retailers, and the way they are thinking along is how we are actually thinking along as well, along with loyalty, with how what they see online immediately gets updated as a unified offers, unified, let's say, page for what they have seen. So store associates, when they walk into the store, they have a way to kind of say, hey, you looked at a few things, you want to shop them in the store for these items. So I think that kind of, let's say, bridge a seamless way information flow is actually happening between digital, physical as well.
In some cases, like we do substitution of product. So say you order something, right? If you are not very brand conscious and if it's out of stock, we do a smart substitution suggestions and recommendations. You can actually provide your preferences as a customer, and then we'll automatically choose those substitutions and package it up for you, so that you don't have to worry about, hey, if it's going out of stock. So we also kind of combine the preferences along with out of stock versus delivery, all this thing put together. So it's at the end, our only aim is first, delight customer. The two is help them live better lives, right? So if that becomes your mission and a goal, how do you make sure that it's always serving in every initiative? It just gets done.
I know this question is probably being addressed in every panel. Primary challenges, I would say, that because we are actually dealing from a retail space, right? The GCC space in transforming retail operations. And have you seen them? I know you have set up a few GCCs. What have you seen? How have you addressed them? So maybe Kaushik, you can answer.
So, it's a journey. When we use the term GCC for a cohort of offices which are remote from their parent location, right? It's a journey. It doesn't happen in like 1 year or 2 years that you be there in terms of delivering a tremendous amount of value globally. There are deliberative approaches that needs to happen, and we all represent organizations which have been around for some time, and we've seen stages of their journey, their evolution, and we have been through it. There have been setbacks, and then we have come around it, right? So, what helps is to start with understanding why this office had been set up, the initial charter, and I always go back to the basics. When you set up a GCC, it's very important to call out the initial charter, that why we are setting this up, what's the objective, what we want to do here in year 1, year 2, year 3. The second most important aspect is having sponsors and champions at both ends who understand that this is not going to be a very quick journey. It takes time to understand, because at the end of the day, it's about getting in people, making them closer to the business, giving them the right set of infra, then expose them to the right data, right context, and then only you start seeing action happening, decisions being taken. And quickly a story. Probably 15 years ago, when I was with Target, we did not have folks with experience of big box retail around in the industry. But then now, if you go out and you want to hire, let's say, someone with a 10-year experience, the person would anyways come with at least 2 big retailers under the bed. So you're getting the talent who knows not only how things work at one, but at least 2 organizations, and that's a plug-and-play stuff for you, right? The challenge is, how do we bring that in the mainstream? And the final piece in one of the things that I see and I navigate till date is global stakeholder management. It's called change management. You can interchangeably use it, but at the end of the day, making sure that globally you are aligned to the strategies. You cannot just have a separate mountain to climb for the GCs. You have to climb the same mountain. And at the same time, how do you keep everyone together as you go through this journey?
Wonderful. I'll move to the last question in the interest of time as well. And the future trends we all see in retail transformation, what all we drive from our GCCs in terms of, let's say, future trends.
Sure. So I think there's, like I said, right, adaptive retail is the future. Things will change and are changing, where an online and offline world are merging faster than we think, right? With all technology advancement. And especially customers are becoming even more, they are more choice-driven, convenience-driven. So, for them, if a retailer is keeping customer at the center, they start building solutions around how do I reach to this customer in a most seamless, frictionless way. I think that's the adaptive retail. The kind of investment that we are doing at Walmart is AR/VR. For example, you have a living room, and you want to decorate your living room and furniture and stuff. You can actually kind of provide those dimensions, and then it can suggest products that can fit in, and nicely eventually you can actually be that interior decorator for your own living room or maybe your living room kind of a thing. That's like, usually it's very difficult otherwise to think. So you will know the sizes of sofa, TV, the paintings, or almost anything and everything that you can. So that's one of the examples where the online and offline world are merging, right? Another is like where we have released generic-based search this January, where we leverage tons of world knowledge and the customer data that we have in a very compliant way to make sure the real world knowledge integrated with product adds delight to the customers. Yeah, there are tons of investment happening around those robotics and stuff.
Future trends, rather present tense. Like when you say GCC, the other most used word in today is Gen AI, right? So these are the 2 words you find, GCC and Gen AI, when you open the newspapers. But Gen AI is something that is already creating a lot of revolutions. I think you mentioned augmented reality. For us, it starts with our customer taking a selfie and then uploading it, and then we have our AR-enabled engine taking it over and then recommending the makeup products. So beauty is something it's more associated with a touch and feel, but then how can you take it to the space of augmented reality and then make sure you're recommending the right products, and at the end of the day you are ensuring that the customer has a very heavy basket. So I think those are some of the things that keeps us excited.
I was happy for 25 minutes we didn't mention ChatGPT or Gen AI. It's only 5 minutes we talk about it. I think that is true, because across the board, every company is looking at it. We are doing it. One of our startup companies that we have acquired recently, they are with Gen AI capability. Our customers can actually design their own intimate apparel, and for a certain charge, we 3D print them and send them all in one view. So everything is customized, and they come, they design what they want. We go ship them very, very quickly. So that is where we are also going. It's like customers come and design their road. apparel. But across the board, I think that the key to retailers is associate, right? This is also an area where we are heavily leveraging Gen AI and all the capabilities because associate experience actually drives store productivity. Also, way how we get happy associates means happy customers. Quite a lot of institutional knowledge on operating procedures, knowledge on products, knowledge on other things are we are trying to actually get it in customers' hands through very I would say phones or let's say iPads or easy to approachable systems. And this is one area where I think it will easily do. Target recently they announced it. We are doing some pilots on it, and Walmart had something equal. GCP probably will do it as well. So with that, maybe I will summarize in the interest of time as well. Or the time anyway came. So good.
Thanks, sir.
I think we anyway covered all the main points across the board.